Let me tell you something about that MC. Woo! Woo! I know they have all these books and things that tell you that the moon travels around the earth and the earth travels around. Let me tell you what makes my world go round. That girl right there. icuTalks, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here. There's nothing better that I could ever be doing on a day with this many absolutely beautiful people in the audience. I'm so glad to be here. I'll tell you, anyone that knows me, it's very few and far in between when you see Brian Johnson with a shirt that buttons up. You'll be lucky if you see me with my shirt on. That's the truth right there. I got a couple of people that are like, when is he going to take it off? When is he going to take it off? Last time that I was in what I call a uniform was when I was in the United States Army. I was actually right down, thank you so much. I was actually in one of the greatest units in the Army Reserve, which is located about a half a mile down the road from here, the 108th Training Command. The 108th Training Command is the command that houses all of the Army Reserve soldiers in the world that are in the Army. It's just incredible. It took me a long time to get to that drill sergeant unit where I would meet someone that changed my life and helped me understand what courage is. His name was Chaplain Wright. And I'll tell you how I got there and how I became what I feel is a courage creator in which all of us can be. No doubt about it. I grew up here in Charlotte, North Carolina. 34 years old, so it wasn't as much growth, and it was a little more rough where I grew up. I grew up off of West Trade, and then moved a little bit further south towards some really hard areas. A lot of gangs, a lot of gun violence, a lot of prostitution, all the things that at the age of 13, 14 years old can redirect your life and where you were going. My environment affected me so much that by the time I was in 12th grade, I had been kicked out of school 2 times. There were people that were advocating for me not to go back to school. They said that I was not someone that fit inside of a society where peace and education could occur. At that time, that's something at the age of 14 hearing could be completely terrorizing to me and my family. But I was lucky and blessed to meet a recruiter. I know all of you may have heard the stories about recruiters that lie. My recruiter did the exact opposite. By the time I was finished with our relationship, I wish she would have told me more lies. She told me the truth. She looked at me, she said, yeah, we're gonna knock off about 30 pounds off of you. Yep, you're gonna go to Iraq. There's no doubt about that. But you're smart, and I looked at your transcript, and I see you've got energy. You've got this energy. That's the word she used for me getting kicked out of school 2 times. It's energy. She said, once we direct that energy, once we are able to face your fear. I said, fear? I'm a fighter. There's no fear in me. She said, and I thank God for her. I was like the last person she ever put into the Army, so she held nothing back. She said, you're afraid and you need to face your fears. Don't worry. We're going to take good care of that. And she was absolutely right. She wrote my story. I joined the Army. I went over to Iraq the first year of my marriage. Went over to Iraq, came back, and I said, I don't think I want to go back over there again. I don't think so. So then I became a drill sergeant right down the road from here, about a mile, and I found out there what courage and how to find that courage and where to find it, and it's there. No doubt about it. Going and becoming a drill sergeant, going through basic training for the second time, and then being in front of some of the world's absolute most courageous people. I believe truly that courage is found in the middle of fear. When you lean into your fear, you learn that it is fake. It is a lie. It always is. Once you lean into that fear and go through whatever's been holding you back, take on whatever is placed in front of you, what you find something beautiful. you find that the goal is fleeting. Whatever you're reaching for, whatever you're going for, you'll find that it is fleeting. But the real magic, the beauty in leaning into your fear is what you become during that process. And so I found this through a wonderful mentor. His name is Chaplain Wright. Chaplain Wright would always say, whenever a chaplain in the Army is a preacher for the military. And one thing that he would always say, and he had a beautiful way of attracting us, especially someone like me, he always had food. He always had food. He had the simple stuff. It was simple. Chicken nuggets, sandwiches, little tidbits, but he always got us into the building. And the one thing that he would always say is lean into your fear. That's where courage is found. And I took that, and I heard it about 3 times, and I was at a point in my life where I had made a beautiful transition from being an African-American male in one of the fastest growing cities in America, growing up with gangs and drugs, being kicked out of school 2 times. So much so that if I sneezed the wrong way, I probably would have been kicked out of school, to becoming a drill sergeant, standing and leading folks that at that time, 2007, 2008, after my guidance and my leadership, would see the sands of Iraq and Afghanistan. I knew that I still had things that I needed to work on. So I went to Chaplain Wright and I said, Chaplain Wright, what do you mean lean into your fear? He said, that's a good question. What I believe that you need to do is you need to give up. And I said, hello, are you an Army chaplain? That's the worst motivational speech I've ever heard. And it's coming from someone in the Army. He said, no, you're not hearing me. You need to give up and give in to God. Christ. Someone has already died on the cross for everything that you're fighting against. All the worries that you have, everything that you're looking to fight for, the battle's already been won. And at that moment, I said, thank goodness I came in for these chicken nuggets. Thank goodness I came into this setting. Thank God that I asked that question. And do you know what I found out from that moment? Once he helped me understand that I need to give up and give in, that I also could be a motivating factor, as we all can, for others. As a drill sergeant, I was able to create this thing called fear. This thing called fear that you feel. Never in my life, never in any of our drill sergeants' lives have we even placed a hand on someone, but there's this thing that when soldiers walk into the building and they see us with the big round brown on, they're terrified. And what I found is there were a lot of people that used that in the wrong manner. They used it so that they could show that they could have control over things, over people. But you know what I learned after having that conversation with Chaplain Wright? Is that I could create an environment. I could create an environment that could cause those that were truly looking to become better and to become greater, I could instill something in them. Because as we found, that the goal of passing basic training, the goal of getting to the next level, once you achieve that goal, it's fleeting. But what you become during that process, that is what it's about. And so I'm here to tell you, no matter what you're going through, no matter what obstacles you have right now, no matter what hardships that have happened in the past, go through it. Lean into it. Because once you get to the other end, once you get to that place of beauty and happiness, what you're going to find is the reason why you're there is because of what you have become going through it. Mental health matters. We don't have to do it by ourselves. We don't. It's not necessary. Find those other beautiful organizations that we have here in our community. Find those other wonderful folks, and I'm telling you, they're to the left and the right of you. You don't got to go searching out in the city anywhere. I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, those folks that can help you strive and push through that fear, push through that adversity, and help you become are sitting right here beside you. And so that's what I want to leave you with today. And I thank you again so much, icuTalks. I want you to, Drill Sergeant Johnson's telling you, lean into your fear, because it's about what you become on the back end. Thank you so much.